Hey everyone. I wasn't planning on recording this. I paused the game because weird shit is happening. I'm back into that place I recorded the first time. I got pissed off by the whole mess that I was needing to clean up. I decided, you know what, I can deal with some annoying sunflowers here. So, I was just doing my thing, making machines and stuff, and I went outside to take a walk around. I took a walk around my base, like along the walls, to just look over my territory and relax, because it's kind of stressful to just be cranking out machines in my little laboratory underneath my base. And suddenly, the fog gets really close, as you can see when I unpaused it a second ago, and I thought, hey, is my render distance lowering? And then suddenly, some kind of Dementor out of Harry Potter just attacks me. I only saw it for a split second out of the corner of my vision, and it knocks me off the wall and sends me hurtling to my death. So I have no idea what's going on, but it actually created a really good environment. It created a good what's the word for it? A good atmosphere, and I thought I'd like to capture this on video. So here we go. I'm gonna figure out what the hell's going on and try to get my tools so that I can kick this thing's ass. Oh, the fog went away. That's somewhat disappointing. I... Oh wait, is it coming back? Yep, it's coming back. Okay. Okay, I think that fog happens when I get near the thing. And the thing knocked me off of the wall, so it's probably somewhere this way. If I go this way, I should find whatever the hell killed me. It looked straight up like a Dementor out of Harry Potter. It was just like a puff of black smoke or something. So you'll know it when you see it. There's nothing else like it. So I was planning on... Oh, okay. Okay. Got my wand, yeah. This is one of the things I was going to tell you in an update video I was about to make. I've got this wand, and it shoots electricity. And it's the simplest spell I was able to make. I can't make any other spells, because they're all... Oh! What the hell? Oh, shit. I want to look at it. I want to scan it with something. Okay. This thing is somewhat serious. Am I able to knock those shadow balls back? I am about to die. Fuck. Fuck, I am as good as dead now. Oh, shit. No, I'm not. I cannot knock those back. An Eldritch Guardian. I guess that came from the thing over there, the Eldritch altar thing. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. It's the big black obelisk in the distance. Nothing has ever come from those so far, so this is the first time I'm encountering something like this. I'm not sure how to handle it. Part of me really wants to get close to scan... Okay. I'm gonna need to get some food, and then I'm gonna sneak up. I want... Oh, shit. Come on, eat blueberries. Oh my god. What a shitty situation to find myself in. Ah, okay. My priorities are kind of messed up here, but I really want to scan that thing with my little scanometer thing. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna sneak up right next to it and scan it. And I'm gonna see if that gives me any good, really good weird shit. I've been messing a lot with thaumaturgy. I haven't like built any thaumaturgical bullshit, but I've been doing a lot of research. And if you look right here, I'm making a big area that I'm going to put a lot of chests in so that I fix my storage problem. So I've been listening to a lot of talk about old movies and old video games and stuff. And I think I might try to incorporate some of that shit on my channel. Because, you know, I got time. I got shit I can do. It'll be a good experience watching a lot of movies, and then maybe I'll put my thoughts here or something. What the hell is my thaumaturgy thing? Did I lose it? I don't know how to turn this thing into the highlighting mode. There's a thing I could read. I could look it up, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to kill this thing until I've scanned it. Because if it's got really good aspects, then like that could save me a lot of time and trouble. Okay, let me think in my head. How the hell do I make one of these? Actually, I've got so many copies of the book that tells me how to make shit. Okay, I was looking for those earlier. Those intricate circuit boards. So I guess this is a surprise podcast. I hadn't even thought of a topic. Let me think of one real quick. I talked about why I'm doing this. I guess now I'll talk about my thoughts on... What do I have thoughts on? Books, I guess. That's my defining character trait is books. So, what do I have to say about books? Characters. I'll talk about character design. Okay. 2 gold, 2 shard things. I hope that thing doesn't disappear. That'd piss me off if it just wandered away. How the hell... Where did it even come from? Is something I'm wondering. I need 2 shards. 2 shards. Right, so character design. There's a lot of things you gotta know about your character going into it. Your character has to have a purpose. And I'm talking about a plot purpose. So if you're making a character just to make a character, and then you'll write a story around them, then their purpose is being able to have a story written about them. And you gotta design it around that. You need to have things that you can work off of later. Don't be too detailed on what you're deciding about your character right away. Put some very general information about them. Don't do generic bullshit like tragic backstory, blah blah blah. A tragic backstory is used frequently as a oh, I'm wasting my time. Here's the thermometer. Okay, so a tragic backstory is often used to justify actions and remove responsibility from a character, or to make them more predictable. You don't want that. The reader doesn't need to know everything about your character for the character to be interesting. The point of the story is not to share information with the reader. The point of the story is for the reader's enjoyment. And sometimes knowing too much can detract from that enjoyment. Did it go away? Fuck. The thing went away. Oh, what is this? A new aura node. I'm pretty sure that wasn't there before. I didn't know aura nodes could just appear like that. This is one... Yeah, I've always had that one. So, sometimes knowing too much about a character can detract from the intrigue. It can detract from a lot of things. It can make them too predictable. You don't want a character that is just inconsistent and random. You want there to be a rhyme and reason. If your character is a strange, chaotic character, then they need to be consistently that way. Not consistently fucked, like never making sense, but their behavior shouldn't revolve around what's convenient for the plot. Am I making sense? Because I'm not putting a lot of very strong thought into what I'm saying. I'm more focused on finding this weird demon thing. You'll always notice whether you'll notice if I'm focusing on the game more than I am what I'm saying, because either what I'm saying will be disjointed and I'll be hopping from thing to thing, and that's when I'm focusing on the game more, versus when I'm focusing on what I'm saying more, you'll see me wandering in circles and getting hit by dumb things. And that's when I'm focusing on what I'm saying. So right now I'm focusing more on the game. You've got a... Fuck. Well, the thing went away. And I'm kind of pissed off about that. But now now I'm gonna record all of this because I don't like wasting fucking time. So, where was I going? Right. If your consistency is important with your character. I'm gonna put that game away for a second. You got to decide what your character's all about. There shouldn't be something that totally controls their every thought and action. If your character is a one-trick pony, it only talks about one thing in every sentence, that's not interesting, that's not fun. If it's a meme, it's only going to be good for like a single one-off story where you explore that and then it's done. A character that is solely focused on one thing will overstay its welcome very quickly. You want to have a realistic character. Someone with all their own little thoughts and things. And the reader doesn't need to know every single interest this character has. I'm going to take a quick once-over. Make sure that thing isn't around. Because where did it even come from? It shot me... I was standing on that wall over there, and it shot me from somewhere this direction. Which means it might have come from inside my base. Meaning it might have come from this thing right here. Well, I don't see any sign of it. So. The reader doesn't need to know everything about your character. I've said it before, and I gotta stress that. You shouldn't hide important information from your reader. You should introduce things at an appropriate time, and then let the reader sort of, if it's a main character, let the reader put themselves into the character's shoes a bit. Tell the reader what they need to know to understand the character's actions and to care about the character, and then leave enough blank spots so that the reader's subconscious can put themselves in their shoes and self-insert a bit, and that'll make them care even more once they feel like they are the character. So that's one thing, is a consistent character that is fleshed out. There's a lot to them, but you don't need to spend paragraphs talking about their kite fascination or their special ability to make their knuckles bend backwards. They can have all these interesting quirks, and maybe they can come up in a casual conversation, because not all dialogue needs to be exposition and plot-oriented. It's good to have a little bit of just off-the-cuff, two characters being real human beings for a second conversation. Depending on the story, I guess. But yeah, having characters act like real people makes them feel like real people. And real people aren't always talking about what's on topic. they'll change the subject. If one character is predisposed to noticing a certain kind of thing, then it makes sense for that character to bring it up. Frequently, but not all the time. When it's appropriate, when there's something that somebody else might not notice, but then they're like, oh, hey, did you notice blah, blah, blah? And they're like, uh-huh. What about it? And they're like, oh, well, herp-de-derp-de-derp, you know? This architecture is actually from the Gothic era or something, says the architect. And that doesn't need to have anything to do with the plot. They can just say that. Because they're an architect, it makes sense for them to have those kinds of thoughts. And then maybe it can be plot related. Like, say there's some... I don't know what Gothic even is. I just know it's some kind of architecture. But let's say there's some kind of Gothic, like, civilization or something, and a Gothic myth of some kind of Gothic creature. I'm using the word Gothic a lot, but it's important. Anyway, some kind of Gothic myth of a creature that eats brains was brought up at the beginning of the story, and then they bring up that this building has Gothic architecture. Ooh, there's foreshadowing. Maybe there's something connected with this building and the brain-eating goth monster. So yeah. So that's the thing. I haven't put any forethought into this, so take from what I'm saying what you will. Oh, consistency is one thing. What else is there? What else? Likability. A character should be as likable as is appropriate. You don't need to have all your characters be good people. Sometimes it's nice to have a character who pushes some bad buttons in the reader, just so that you can give the reader the satisfaction of like dropping the anvil on their head, or the piano, or having them slip on a custard pie or whatever. You know, make the character hate them so that you can satisfy them with tearing that character down. Or make them hate them to, like, make them want to suspect that that's the bad guy. You know what I'm saying. I'm going with the first thing that you think of. Oh, this is another thing. When you're writing a story, and I forget where I heard this, but it's something I found to be useful. When you're writing something and you're trying to structure it in a way where you don't want the reader to know what's coming, think about the first thing that you think of. Whatever the first thing you expect to happen is with what you're writing, and then throw that idea out. And just throw the first few ideas out to think of something a little more obscure and less likely to be predicted, because once the reader has predicted what's going to happen, that does take a lot of the what's the word? The seriousness, the, oh no, are things going to turn out okay? Like, you know, I got so stuck in the mindset of, oh, nothing bad ever happens to the main character. It's so boring. I know for a fact that some kind of MacGuffin is going to come save their life at the last second. And then I read Game of Thrones. And in book 1, where Ned Stark gets executed, fucking spoiler, I guess. If you haven't read it yet, I don't fucking care, dude. The scene where Eddard Stark gets executed, I was reading that and I'm like, oh, Arya, his daughter, is gonna, like, throw a sword at the executioner and save him. And no, that didn't happen. And I'm like, okay, well, something's gonna happen. The executioner is holding his sword right above Ed's head, and I'm like, oh, something's gonna happen. He lifts it, something's gonna happen. He begins swinging it, the sword is halfway to his head, and I'm still certain something is gonna stop him. And then slice, head comes off. I'm like, oh, nothing happened. And that was shocking, that was jarring, and that was something I really loved. It made me really love and really hate Game of Thrones, because I loved Eddard, and I was rooting for him, you know? He was like my man, he was the honor guy, you know? I like to root for honorary guys. So killing off someone that the reader loves is a great way to twist their nipple, you know? And that's what you want. You don't always want your reader. The point isn't to make your reader happy. The point is to make your reader feel something. And you don't want to do that with cheap tricks, you know, sad violin song playing in the background, puppy with big eyes. It's a fucking PETA commercial. No, that's not what you want to do. That's shitty, lowbrow fucking... If I were to call anything lowbrow, I wouldn't call fart jokes lowbrow. I would call fucking having the violin play in the background while the puppy tears up. That kind of shit. And the way that carries over to writing is like having a character who the world is just constantly bashing on. Their life is so sad and they're so lonely and no one likes them and they were raised by wolves and their dad beats them and is an alcoholic and their mom is like, you were in an accident, and all the bad stuff in the world is happening to them, you know? And that, don't fucking try to make your reader sympathetic to the character by having the character be literally fucking Quasimodo. Wait, who the hell is Quasimodo? Why the hell do I know that name? Hold on, I'm gonna look that up. How the hell do I spell quasi? Okay, SSY Moto. Who? Okay, Quasimodo. Who is Quasimodo? Googling it right now. Quasimodo is a fictional character. Oh, I never saw that movie. Quasimodo was okay. Yeah. So, I don't know anything about that, but for some reason my brain told me to use him as a symbol for what I'm talking about here. But I don't know if that applies, so I'm gonna try it again. You don't want your character to be the fucking ragdoll of the universe. That's not something people are sympathetic to, because they know bad shit's gonna happen to him, so they just don't care. They have already accepted it. You want a character who looks like they have promise, who looks like they can take the world on. They're confident and strong and sure they've got a few weaknesses, but they can work with it and they can roll with it, you know? And maybe that's some of my personal bias seeping in, because that's the... Oh, okay. That's the kind of person I've tried to be in life. I want to be the confident, strong, not necessarily perfect, but I'll tell myself I'm perfect just so that I have the determination to carry on with whatever the hell I'm talking about. So yeah, you want your character to be respectable. You want them to look like they have a chance, unless for whatever reason you don't. But generally you want a character... If you're gonna ruin a character and hope that the reader feels something, you want the reader to believe that it's not fair that this happened to them. You want the reader to say, that's not fair. They were cool. They were the cool guy. They should have had an awesome life. How dare you, writer? How dare you? You know? And I'm going to tie this into theology a bit, because that's one of my expertise, is I know a lot about religions. And I'm going to be going to Catholicism this time. And actually, it's also in Judaism. I'm pretty sure this comes from the Old Testament. Whatever, most of you don't even believe in God, so I'm not even going to linger on that. In one of the Testaments, it says, fucking, I'm cool with people who are cold, and I'm cool with people who are hot, but lukewarm bitches I'm going to shit on. You know, that's basically what God said. And let me tell you what that means. You probably already know, but I'm going to say it anyway. He's saying that people who hate God, God's cool with that. People who love God, God is cool with that. But if you don't care about God, then God's gonna shit in your mouth, because you're not shit, I guess. So that's the thing, and you can apply that concept to writing. If your reader hates you for something you do, that's okay. If your reader loves you, that's also great. But if your reader just doesn't care, then you're failing. Your writing is failing if it doesn't make your reader think critically. It doesn't make them feel critically. You either want to go for the logic or the emotion. Those are the two general ways that I can structure this. Logic, emotion, or if you're writing smut, then instinctual bullshit. But I in my head I tend to chalk up instinct to being with emotion. So yeah. You want your reader to feel something, whether it's pitching a tent or whether it's shouting, how could you make my character get cancer? Or if it's saying, oh please, will these two characters just fuck already, you know? That's a thing. That's what you want. You want your reader to feel. And you can't accomplish that with silly, sappy bullshit like fucking little blind girl begging for money out on the street, or old lady dying and little girl gets left alone because her grandma, who was her sole provider, fucking is in a coma upstairs and she doesn't know to call the hospital. You know? You can't... Well, maybe that second one has some promise, but no, you don't want to use the cheap, sappy bullshit. You want to be creative. Creativity is sexy. People like seeing new ways to make them feel. That's something you want to find. And when you're writing your character, you don't want to write them from the perspective of how can I write this character to make the reader feel something. Because that will make itself evident in what you have written. You want this to be, how do I write this character so that they have the most potential, they can be the most things. Even the shyest pushover can be something. Even a fucking... Right, to pull back on that for just a second, I need to make some stuff. I need to make a magma crucible, and I need to make a fluid transposer. I never made the fluid transposer in my previous save file. I made a fucking bottling machine, and I got by with that for a while. But this time I'm not going to do that. I'm going to make the fluid transposer, and it's going to be cool. So, let's see here. I'm looking for some stuff. Right. I found out recently that I can put charcoal into this machine. So I made this guy. This is an infernal furnace. It's basically... Oh shit. What the fuck? Where was that? How did that creeper even see me? That is literal bullshit. There was a creeper apparently on this side of the world, on this side of my... You fucking saw. That was a load of bullshit. I didn't see a hole in my wall. If there was a hole there and I'm just fucking blind, please shout at me in the comments so I know I'm not talking to an empty void. But damn, that was weird. Well, now this is gonna look ugly. But whatever, I never walk on this side of the room. I'll probably forget about it. Okay, I gotta make sure there's no actual damage done to the inside, though. It looked like everything was fine, but still. So. Right. I'm telling you about this weird thing I made. It's basically a normal Minecraft furnace, except that it has Satan in there. And Satan wants shit to eat. So, whenever you throw shit in there, like, I have nothing. I'm not gonna smelt that because it's inefficient. Okay, yeah. So you throw something in there, and Satan eats that up, and he'll spit out the smelted form. And that's it. It's a fuel-free furnace. It works forever. Now, you can make it faster and more efficient by hooking up a bunch of creepy, weird bullshit to it, but I don't have time to make creepy, weird bullshit. I gotta make stuff. So what am I even doing? Right. I need two blocks of steel. So for that, I'm gonna need two blocks of iron. While that's going, what was I even saying? I cut a segment out. Okay, had weird technical difficulties. So what was I saying? Right. You want the reader to be making plans in their head. And then you're going to pull that all away from them. I need to go mine some coal. How much coal? I need at least 18 coal. So, you want the reader to make plans in their head. You want them to be like, oh yeah, this person's going to save the day, and then we're going to watch them rebuild the world, and then get them to the point where they try to do that. Like with Eddard Stark. It was so well pulled off in Game of Thrones. You thought for sure that Ed had won the day. I didn't even realize that we were less than halfway through the book. I'm like, wow, Ed's actually winning. He's got all the guards with their swords against Cersei, and then suddenly, boom, gets stabbed right in the back. Everything begins to fall apart. You hear some fucking One Direction, oh, what you say, as the world begins falling apart in slow motion. A single teardrop rolls down your character's eye or cheek as they begin to fall. The color is fading from the world, and everyone's pointing at them and mocking them and laughing. And God is like, you ain't shit. And he's fucking laughing his ass off. That's what you want. You want that. You want the universe to be laughing at them for thinking that they had the power to change the world. And the universe is laughing at you too for cheering them on, for being so naive as to think that anyone could change anything, that this world is anything more than just a shit piss still in the fucking... I don't know what words I'm trying to say. But you want the universe to laugh at the reader for their hopes. You want the reader to be hopeful, and then you want to crush that shit. That is how you make them feel negative emotions. But maybe I'm getting too far ahead of myself here. How do you make them feel positive emotions? That's something a little trickier. I think, anyway. I'm not exactly a master of positive emotion. But how I would go about it, and I'm not like a perfect seasoned veteran writer. I've only been in the game for like half a decade, so it's really not a long time. But I do my best to listen to elders, to people with experience, with people who have written good work, not just popular work, but like things that I can look at and say, this is objectively well done. Even if I don't agree with the message of the story, or it doesn't captivate a large audience, this is still well structured. And I look for artists like that, and I ask them, or I listen to them talk about how they do what they do. I listen to people deconstruct what they did, so that it helps me put it into words, and it helps me understand so that I can apply it to my own life. So, I don't know why I'm doing that. Anyone who's listening either doesn't care or fucking already believes me. Or whatever. So, what am I even saying? Right. How to make a character like you. Right, I had started on this, but I was only talking about this in tandem with talking about how to make the reader feel bad. How to make them feel happy. There are things everyone likes, and you gotta play on those. You gotta find those buttons, learn what they are. The things that we are biologically designed to like. Happy scenes of, like, you know, puppies and daw and all that. You don't need to make a... Making happiness isn't as important. Well, it's important. Because you need to be able to push the good buttons in order to keep a reader around. But, making someone happy, I feel, is less complex than making them miserable. Because making them miserable implies that they already cared. Whereas making them happy is making them care in the first place. So, okay. So, you know, I feel like I'm gonna sound like a bumbling idiot when this recording comes out, because I feel like a bumbling idiot. I feel like I don't sound well rehearsed, because I'm not. I'm saying all this off the top of my head, which isn't something I have a lot of experience doing. Usually when I make a point, it's through a written essay of some kind, because fucking high school. Oh shit. Thank God for the spider's dumbass fucking structure. What am I even saying? Right. Making them happy. How do you make them happy? You gotta... Fuck. Do I even know? Maybe I don't know how to make the readers happy. In fact, that's something I'm trying to tackle with my new version of Gilchrist. Is apparently a lot of people just didn't care about him because he was right. In order to make someone care about a character, there's a lot of things. You don't want the character to be obnoxious, or if they are meant to be obnoxious, but you still want the reader to care about them, then they need to be more obnoxious to the people in the story than they are to the reader. The reader should be able to laugh at everyone else's misery and be like, oh, you're still awesome, even though you're a fucking spaz. That's part of your charm. In having a charming spaz isn't something that I really know how to pull off well. I've never tried to do that. Anytime I have a spaz character, it's so that they can get the shit kicked out of them later. So, I accomplished literally nothing when I went out just now. Gosh, it's fucking... I don't know, I felt like I had some kind of college joke, like liberal arts. I spent 4 years, got my liberal arts degree. Guess I accomplished nothing. I don't know. But yeah, I'm supposed to be getting coal right now. How much coal do I need? I need to power the thing. Right, I need 18 coal to make steel. And then I need... Oh shit. Okay. If you didn't see it, a message just popped up on my screen saying, "What was that noise? Something is behind you." Is that real? Is there an actual enemy down here? Is another Eldritch Guardian gonna come eat my asshole? Because I really don't want that. I'm very much not a fan. And a big long staircase like that is not exactly an optimal location for combat. I'm not seeing any signs of life though, so I think maybe that was just to fuck with me. Well played, Thaumaturgy. You really scared me that time, you know? Oh, wait. Okay, I'm getting paranoid. I'm seeing things where there's nothing. That's never good. Okay. Oh, what the hell was I talking about now? Oh? Making your reader care, right? Having spaz characters. How can you make a reader care? I think I already talked about this. You make them care first by making the character a real person. Have plenty of things to know about them. Maybe the environment they're in tells a lot about their personality. The things that are in their room, the messy pictures of anime girls, they're a fucking otaku ass bitch, or put fucking, I don't know, put whatever you want. Depends on who they are. Make the character make the character what you need them to be, but leave plenty of room for development in the future. Because no one's ever able to think of everything when they're first conceptualizing a character. We're not geniuses. This isn't a world full of geniuses. You can be almost certain you aren't a genius. Especially if you think you're a genius, then you're even less likely to be one. Because, you know, I find that the smartest people I know are also the most self-critical and the most fucking... They don't think less of themselves, but they are so aware of their own faults that they think, I can't be a genius with all of these things. With all these things that I can't do. That's just a thing I notice with people that I think are fucking brilliant. But, you know, maybe I can't see. Maybe I'm the blind one, and I think other people are smart because I'm not or something. I don't know. But I find that I've been a pretty good judge of character in my life. And, I don't know, I noticed a correlation between being smart and being self-critical. Oh, you know, that brings me to another topic. People who, like, they know what they want to be, and then they look for things that are traits of who they want to be, and then they tell themselves that they have those traits. That, like, if I say, oh yeah, smart people are very self-critical, and then they suddenly be like, oh my gosh, that makes so much sense. I'm so self-critical. I always judge myself, blah, blah, blah. And then they make up times when they did it, or they convince themselves that they are a certain way because they want to believe that there's something that they may or may not be, but it doesn't matter if they are. The problem is that, like, they so desperately want to be that their own perception of themselves is clouded by it. I'm beginning to lose my direction on this podcast. I'm gonna go for another 10 minutes. This was kind of a bad idea in the first place, but it's not like I got anything to lose. So, fuck it. If I ever need obsidian, I'll come here for it. So. God, I fucking forgot what I was talking about again. I know, oh, diamond in the rough. I found a diamond in the rough. Oh my god, that's so funny. Okay. Oh, okay, I thought it was just one diamond and I was kind of disappointed. Yeah, I was worried that there was only 2 diamonds. I was worried there was only 4 diamonds. Give me more. Yeah, every time. It's always giving me more. Oh, it stopped giving me more. Whatever. So, something, heart of the cards, care, friendship is living, and stuff. And there you go, that's all you need to know. Case closed, you're a master writer now. So you got a character, and you're making them. Ooh, here's a thing I should talk about, is how to decide what kind of character they need to be. Even though I haven't fully finished the topic that I was talking about already, which is how to make your reader care about your character. Because, you know, you gotta put the care in character. Because they're actors that we care about. Jeez, you know, I want to explore more of the cave, but I'm so irresponsible with my food. I should fucking make a bigger farm with all of the carrots that the world can hold. I've got plenty of coal. Oh shit! That was too close for comfort. Oh fuck. Okay, I'm not going that way. That way sucks dick, and I don't want that. Not about that life. Oh my god. Did that do less than half a heart point to me? Because I'm pretty sure I should be dead right now. But I won't argue with the good thing. Right, I came through this way. Down here? Okay, good. I'm on the way home. So, want to make them care about your character? That character's got to push the good buttons. People don't care about people who are fucking sympathy grabbers. No one cared about JoJo. Which JoJo am I talking about? Okay, better way to put it. All of the JoJos in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, none of them were weak, spineless bitches. Even fucking... what's his name? Not Jotaro, Josuke. Even Josuke, the guy who's a fucking pacifist and doesn't like to hurt people, even he was a total badass. His whole thing was, oh, I don't want to hurt anyone, though, because I'm fucking badass. So, just don't insult my hair, and I'll let you be alive, okay? Everyone, you can try to kill me, and I still won't kill you. Just don't insult my hair, you motherfucker. So see, even he's a badass. His weakness is self-imposed. His unwillingness, and I'm calling it a weakness because I'm a total fucking cold asshole. But his weakness, or his restraint, is self-imposed. He's not weak. He's only as weak as fucking Gandhi was, you know? And I hardly know shit about Gandhi, to be honest, but I have a feeling that he might have been a big deal. So yeah, strong people. Any weaknesses, or most weaknesses, should be self-imposed, either through, like, misunderstandings or... Alright, I gotta turn it into Coke. Get in there. Okay. So while that's going, I guess I can fucking kill myself or something. I'll go make some tin gears, right? Basic. Where is there? Okay, so I've got 2 of these being made. I've got 4 crushed to that. I need to make 2 basic circuit boards, 2 tin gears, 2 iron chipsets. I think I have the chipsets already, like, underway. Fuck. I have no energy production. I should really solve that. I put a single hardened thing up there, but it seems to rain every other day, if not twice out of 3 days. What am I gonna do? In the old days, in the previous save file, what I did was I made a super massive fucking boiler. I showed it to you guys, but that thing took forever to make, and I never even got it functional. So what if I make a tinier one, a tiny boiler, but there's still the matter of fuel? What am I gonna do? If I make a single, like, okay. The problem with that one was that I used liquid fuel because I knew it was possible to make infinite liquid fuel. But infinite liquid fuel isn't something that comes right away early in game. Hold on, I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. So I checked and we're coming to the 1 hour mark. So I'm gonna end it sometime soon, which is too bad because I don't want to. Like, I've still got a lot to talk about. So what I think I'm gonna do is, like, in the distant future, if this channel is still a thing, which as far as I can tell it's gonna be a thing for a long ass time. But wait. What can I do with these diamonds? I feel like there's something really awesome that I should be doing with these diamonds right now. What could be done? Fuck, I feel like there's something really awesome I could be doing right now with these diamonds. But I don't know what it is, so I'm gonna put them there. I'm gonna try not to forget about them. What the hell was I talking about? Right. Fucking... I went to the bathroom and I started thinking about fucking people in the Congress and how they're all a bunch of little dick suckers. Like, get your fucking noses out of your asses. Stop worrying about money and fucking The problem with democracy is that it's a total fucking popularity contest, and that the results don't matter. All that matters is the illusion of results and the promise of results. Fucking, that's why I wish that, like, the world was governed by computers. And, you know, you could say that the problems are, like, who the fuck controls what the computers decide. And I don't fucking know that shit yet. There are problems to be worked out. Definite problems, but I feel like the fewer humans involved in governing a society, the better. Because I don't have a high opinion of humans. That's something maybe I should put out there right now. I love people, as I have said before. You may have heard me talk about, like, my fetish for helping other people reach self-actualization. But, even in spite of that, or actually, not in spite of that, it's very closely tied to that. Putting those in there because I'm fucking bored. Oh. Fucking inefficient as fuck, Charlie. Come on. Put the cold Coke where it needs to be. Right, I know. I was thinking about the last episode where I made that boiler thing. But I'm right. Am I gonna talk about the fucking self-actualization fetish, or am I gonna talk about fucking the, what is it? What was I just now talking about? Yeah, fewer humans involved in governing a society. I feel like there should be multiple societies. Multiple, like, a big world order that intentionally partitions itself into smaller groups of things. Like, there is a section of the earth dedicated to fucking communism, another dedicated to capitalism, another dedicated to fucking Fujiwara bullshit, tentacle anime, whatever. I don't know. Just intentionally making different parts of the world for different reasons. Like, maybe we find that communism is a better structure for children to grow up in. I'm not saying that's true. I'm saying, what if we found that out? Maybe we could fucking make Australia our communist continent. And then that's where we focus most of our breeding. And then people can choose to stay in Australia or come back to Australia at any point. Or they could go to fucking Asia, and Asia is a bunch of different places. Like, there's a section of Asia devoted to production. Like, maybe we've got, like, post-scarcity society. We've got fucking... We can boil matter down to its base components and then reconstruct that to make dildos or whatever. And so there's a big plant in Asia where we just produce everything, and then they can go there to work, and, like, in exchange for that soul-crushing job, you get to make a shit ton of money. No. What? Going to need to replace my stuff? What the hell are you on? Sir, my stuff did not get destroyed, did it? Oh, please. Don't tell me it did. That's almost as bad as... Oh, thank God. Because of the fucking mods, this game doesn't eat my things. That came out horribly, but whatever, I only care so much. So yeah, you know, you could have a place in Asia for making shit, and then another, you could have Brazil, and Brazil, is for, maybe it's dedicated to the arts, maybe it's dedicated to fucking paintings and sculptures and shit like that, you know, and it's got its own society, and oh, come on, guys. How long does it take to make a fucking universal language? I feel like, fuck culture. Fuck the importance of your heritage. I don't care if English is the language that we agree on. Let's make Let's get rid of all current existing languages. Get a bunch of fucking linguistic professors to make the perfect language, and then have like a fucking meeting of the Dragon Lords every 5 month, every year or every half year or so, or who knows how long, to decide if any new words need to be added or if any definitions need to be changed, you know? Because fucking humanity is a whole. Humanity is a unit. We don't need to have a shit ton of languages. I mean, I know that I've heard anyway that having a shit ton of languages means, or knowing a shit ton of languages, being bilingual, being multilinguistic bullshits, having the ability to know Spanish, French, and German and Russian, knowing a bunch of languages, it makes you live longer apparently. And now that I say that, I mean, that can't be the only way to make you live longer. We're already figuring out how to stop aging, you know? That's just an exercise. There's got to be other ways to exercise your brain. We don't need to have a big fucking inefficient nonsense, porque I don't know your language nonsense. What does porque even mean? I hardly know Spanish. See, I know Latin, I know English, I know some muddy Chinese, and that's about it. And I know Guten Tag because I grew up next door to a German guy, and my mom would be like, say Guten Tag to him, and he always liked it when I said Guten Tag because I was a cute little kid. And now I'm a big fucking ugly anime watcher. Ah, we changed so much. Anyway, what the hell was I saying? Something important. Whatever, the point of it was probably that I'm awesome. That's probably the point. So, I think we can all agree on that, and that's the end of the conversation. Huh. This looks kind of cool when it's just standing upwards. That reminds me, I hear there's recipes for staves, or staff. How can I make a staff? Biomes aplenty. Why do you have staffs? Staves. Staffi. Right. I can't look that shit up until I fucking research it in the Thomnomicon. Let's take a look at the Thomnomicon. Let's see what I can find in here. I'm going down this way. Okay. So once I research the Silverwood Wand core, then it looks like there's a staff that comes after that. I want the staff because staffs are cool. I like staffs. So silly accents aside, what was I talking about? I was talking about congressmen being cocksuckers. I was talking about geez, I don't even know. Got the asthmatic chin. Okay. That creepy anime bullshit that happened earlier, I need to fix that. I need to figure out what this question mark is right here, so that I can get rid of all this weird shit. Okay, I talked about some random topics here, because this was a totally random podcast. But let's see if I can wrap up what the main point was, which is fucking making characters. When you're designing a character, the design should be if you're designing a character for a specific story, you should think strongly about what their purpose is in the story, and then give enough information so that their actions make sense, so that their fucking, so that their motives are clear. Depending on situation from situation. The way a person acts when you first introduce them won't always be identical to how they act most of the time. It might be like in a kid's cartoon, where you've got a character who has a lot to them, but you've only got a short amount of time to introduce them, so what you decide to do is make them a very strong stereotype of themselves, just to get the important details. This is the apple farmer, this is shy fucking hippie girl, and just play hardcore on those stereotypes for the first 5 minutes. And then as time goes on, introduce their little subtleties, pull back on the stereotype, pull back on the thick, add a little more sauce here and there, add some tang, ting tang, walla walla bing bang, there you go, you got a fucking fleshed out character. So that's how to make the character, if that made sense to anyone but me. I know I'm not supposed to go so much. I read that when I was researching shit, like tips and tricks for my fucking Let's Plays, that when you say or you go and all those silly little noises, that it really jars the listener and it throws them out of the loop. So I'm trying to stop that, guys. It's just not the easiest thing in the world. And what the fuck am I supposed to do with Gourd Guard? Okay, there we go. It gave me food. There I go, going again. This is gonna take a while, guys. I'm not a fucking professional, clearly. So you got... So, you've got how to make the character. How to make a person care about them is by pushing some buttons. You just gotta push some buttons in the reader's mind, positive ones, make them respect the character, make them want the best for the character, make them think that there is a possibility for a happy ending. How to make the reader feel negative things. After making them feel like there's a possibility for a happy ending, then take it away from them. And if you want to go the Game of Thrones route, build it up. Make it seem like, oh, everything is going to turn out okay. There is a light in the world. All of these cynical assholes are wrong. But then shove it in the reader's face that they weren't wrong. That the world is as cynical and as fucking cold as everyone says it is. Because otherwise those cynical people wouldn't be alive. You know? Because the world's not a fucking nice place. It doesn't coddle you, and it doesn't particularly hurt you either. What I found is the world just doesn't care. If bad things happen to you, they happen to you. If good things happen to you, they happen to you. There is no fucking karma. There is no deserve. Things happen. You can make them happen, or you can let them happen. But either way, they will happen. You can influence what happens, or you could just be a ball of dirt, and things will happen to you. Things will happen at you. Things will happen around you. That's a real mindset. But not every story needs to be real. Not every story needs to have that mindset. Sometimes it's nice to have a story that is this is weird. Hold on, I gotta look at something. Shock. The runic altar, okay. Frost is the runic altar. Okay, excavation is also the runic altar. Okay, then ward. Okay, that's arcane infusion. So, what about equal trade? So these 4 basic wand foci seem to be the most basic of anything. They happen on the runic altar, and the most basic shit happens to them. How can where is the... It doesn't offer me to make the fire foci. Why doesn't it offer the fire foci? I never researched it, did I? Check in Apocrypha. It's not over here. At no point did I ever research the fire focus. I'm almost certain. Whatever. So yeah, your stories don't need to be realistic. Like games. Games don't need to be realistic. Look at this. This world is made of cubes. I have a wand that shoots lightning, and that's a million times more entertaining than fucking running around with a bow and arrow and a diamond sword. So, yeah. This focus on realism is silly. I got a text. What? I keep getting weird texts from strange people. Anyway. Where? Dude, my short-term memory is fucking out the window. What the hell was I talking about? That's gonna be a recurring gag, I feel. I'm always gonna forget what I'm talking about. And I'm not looking forward to that. So yeah, okay. Like, you can be like Kirby, you can have a nice little fluffy story. The world can be a really happy place. That's not a bad thing. You just gotta pull it off right. Anything can be awesome if you just do it right. You know? Everything can be awesome. There is potential in just about every idea. And I want to see more ideas that sound dumb pulled off well. I want to find myself liking things that sound gay as shit. And I think that's a good point to leave off on. I want to like things that are dumb. And you can make that happen. Just fucking do it right. This is Prof G Rob, and I'll come to you next week with more ramblings as you get to watch me fucking devolve into my former crazy self. Bye! That was so gay.